David, thank you so much. Ed Jones is here from Nutrition World. Always has great topics, but this time we're going to focus on keeping your immune system healthy as we head into the new year. Happy New Year.
And same to you.
So all of these things we're going to find in a bottle, right?
Well, before I even speak of bottles, let me tell you how to make yourself sick.
Okay.
Sugar will decrease your immune system for 4 straight hours every time you eat or drink sugared drinks or foods. So if you drink something at lunch or you had a terribly rich carbohydrate meal, you're going to be susceptible for 4 hours. Why do you think so many people are sick around Christmas? They double and triple their sugar intake. So even with all the goodies, you need to watch your knife and fork and your glass, because that's poisoning us.
Okay. That's a very good point. I wish I could go back in time, because perhaps that's why we came under the weather in our house.
That's right. Yep.
Okay, so watch your sugar intake, and that includes sugar as you think of it, but also carbs.
Also excessive carbs, everything from too much rice, fruit juice, fruit, all those things can be harmful to the immune system.
Okay, now the things you brought with you here, are you recommending that all of us take all of these?
No.
Or depends on your need?
Well, the basic information that I think everyone should remember is when your probiotics, which are called the microbiome, all the little good guys that line your intestinal tract. You have 3 pounds of this. It is responsible for 60% of your immune system. So when you drink chlorinated water, you take antibiotics, you eat meats that have antibiotics, you have just cut your immune system in half. We already are in a society that's very precarious about what we're exposing ourselves to, from mold in our house to buildings that don't breathe, to this, that, to whatever. Well, you can't have a half immune system without getting sick constantly.
Okay.
So with that, there's things that build that. The probiotics, absolutely necessary, and vitamin D are the 2 things that build an immune system quicker than any one thing.
Probiotics, for a lot of us are familiar with that. You were on not long ago, though, talking about be careful what you consider to be a good probiotic. Sweetened yogurts that claim to have probiotics are really damaging you.
There you go with sugar. They're going to decrease the immune system, and there's not much live bacteria left in most yogurts unless you make them at home. And no one does that. So the state of the art for stores and businesses who know their business in this industry would carry brands like these. And they're very stable, they're very potent, they implant in the wall, they will increase your brain chemicals and your immune system very quickly.
And they're good for everybody, depending on, regardless of your age. Kids,
they're good for everyone. Now that doesn't mean that every brand is compatible to your body. You may find a brand that may be more compatible than another. You may have to experiment.
Okay. What do we have on this end in front of me?
This end is, let's say that you've done everything right or you've done everything wrong and you're feeling awful. And you're like, what do I do now? Vitamin C is still one of the kings for stimulating an immune system. We have new technology where this C is almost like an IV. It's called lipospheric. It goes in and absorbs extremely fast. You can't take enough pills to equal this. It tastes awful, but it works. This is a mixture called ACF that has every herb from golden seal to myrrh to thyme to zinc. That will, if you are feeling bad, you start doing this 3 times a day. If you do it quick enough, beyond belief. Now, I do have to say, check with your doctor if you got medical things going on. And lastly, xylitol nasal spray. If you spray this in your nose, bacteria cannot stick to the mucous membranes. So if you're breathing some contagious germs, they can't find a foothold, they just pass through. But xylitol is amazing for stopping bacteria from sticking.
Xylitol.
Yes.
Okay, now we have the probiotics here, and in front of you, what do you have?
And then the last thing is called Epicor. Very interesting product. It actually is a yeast, and it was discovered long ago that it would triple our immune system within 24 hours. I use it as a preventative. I do it every single day and have for about 10 years. 1 pill per day dose. I love it because it's reasonably priced, and 1 pill per day anyone can do.
What are the other 2 bottles that you have?
These are the vitamin D. And I highly say that I recommend constantly. Blood testing is important because everyone's guessing at dosing. You don't know. I have to do 12,000 units per day to get my level at over 50 nanograms. That's what it takes to be super healthy. You won't know that unless you do blood testing.
Okay, let's come back then into what you're doing at Nutrition World, because you have a doctor there who's in once a week, right?
I have the clinic now Monday through Thursday, so 4 days a week. Get all the blood testing, discounted pricing, holistic advice, bioidentical hormones, IV vitamin C. It's all available.
And also, if you're somebody who is sick now, or you're accustomed to, maybe you get the sniffles, you go to the doctor, you ask for the antibiotic, keep in mind that you don't want to do that unless you really need one, because unless you have a bacterial infection, you're hurting yourself, right?
Well, the word antibiotic apocalypse is now standard because we are facing probably the most scariest time since the Dark Ages with infections. Once we have a few more years of these antibiotics that finally totally quit working, where do we stand? It's scary, scary.
Okay, so don't let yourself get sick. Come to Ed. The probiotics, you can just try and see which one works for you, and then depending on what else you're facing, he'll walk you through. You heard him say he's not advocating that you take all of these things, but get some counsel, talk to him or the staff, and they'll put you on the right path. You'll find him on Lee Highway right there at 153, 892-4085 is his phone number. NutritionW.com is the website.